It is so good to get to sit down with you again. I know you're from Dallas, so I just want to get that out there real quick because now we have the backstage experience, on iHeartRadio at 106.1 KISS FM. So it's just an honor to get to sit down with you again, man.
Cool. Good to talk about movies, man. I love it.
Yeah. So this one, did you know what the full arc was going to be? Because I know you had to wait for the first one to come out and end up being the biggest horror movie. But did you have an idea at that time when we sat down on the Universal lot in 2018, like what this arc was going to entail?
I didn't know necessarily some of the narrative points that we were going to get into, but I knew atmospherically, when we decided that it was going to be a trilogy, I knew atmospherically that I wanted a second chapter that was going to turn it upside down and be more action-oriented and be a real Michael Myers opus. And then the third one I wanted to be atmospheric, and the ambition was to infuse a love story into it.
This one feels like it has like a different style to it. It kind of has like an 80s kind of feel to it.
All right, there you go.
But I'll also add, there's parts of it that kind of feel like a prequel, like in a way, with some of the character development. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. In terms of the 80s influence, there's a lot of it. I think most of the movies I was pointing to, a lot of it's just self-indulgent because these are the types of movies that inspired me to get to make horror movies in the first place, is watching movies like Christine and Blood Rage and Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and these films that in a fun way were the forbidden VHS videos that I, sneak watching at a sleepover party or something like that. And so I think it was exciting for me to make a movie about bad boys in leather jackets and motorcycles and bullies and all these things that affected my film viewing as a kid. And even like, I was watching it the other day thinking, I think we even snuck a little Twin Peaks in there,
Some Lost Boys.
Some Lost Boys, for sure. And so I have very vivid memories of watching a lot of these movies for the first time. And I wanted this film to have that vibe. In some ways, when you talk about it being a prequel, like we're looking at ways. Michael Myers is a really difficult character, right? He doesn't talk. He doesn't have a motive. Nothing inspires him to kill other than his intuition to kill. But he's not out looking for revenge. And so he's very difficult to write. And if I'm going to explore evil, I need a character to be able to see those seeds that I can be a little bit more expositional with, because Michael's already established as a character that has no backstory. And so we introduced this character, Corey Cunningham, as a way where we can see two things. We can see the town of Haddonfield unraveling with paranoia and blame and the negativity that's permeated since 2018 after the massacre. And then also it's a way that I can show the seeds of negativity developing on a path towards evil acts in a way that I can't speak about Michael. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think that's why Laurie and Michael's characters resonate so well with the audience, is like, you're fighting this evil. A lot of us fight an evil either externally or like within our minds. And I think that's why we resonate so much, with these characters. One thing I gotta ask this is, can you put out like a box set of like your drawings or something like that from like the trilogy? Because like Christopher Nolan does these,
Wait, how do you know about my drawings?
Well,
Are you just assuming there are some drawings?
Well, I know like every director loves to draw and stuff like that.
Okay,
like,
okay.
But we would, as fans, we would love if like you could put out like maybe like some type of picture book of like the trilogy. Because I was asking Jamie like if she could, because Laurie, is writing a memoir in the movie, like would she put out a memoir? And she said no, because she's already said so much. But I think it'd be really cool like if someone could just put her thoughts together into
That's
a
interesting.
memoir.
Like it's almost like Laura Palmer's diary or something like that.
Yeah, and then have like your visions of like maybe initial sketches and stuff through the years. Just as a fan,
we are
would
doing a
love to
coffee
see
table
that.
book.
Okay.
That encompasses all three. I mean, that's already happening, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So, but I see what you're saying, and there's a way to maybe infuse some of that stuff into it. Would be super cool, because even our DP is an amazing artist, Mike Simmons, who's shot all three of these films. And Christmas cards alone are his paintings of Jamie was talking yesterday about a painting he gave her, inspired by the movie. These things that, because we're all a bunch of weirdos, and we're all sketching, drawing, daydreaming more Michael Myers in our minds. And so it is fun to try to think of how we can to share some of that stuff, because Otherwise, it can be just lost in collecting dust in a vault somewhere. And I do think it's stuff that fans would appreciate. Like, have you seen that art book of art inspired by The Thing, by
Yes.
Carpenter's Thing?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I have that. That's sitting on my coffee table in my office. It's just great to be able to look and see how other artists have interpreted characters and scenarios from these films. That'd be another cool thing to do.
Because it helps other people draw inspiration from you. So.
Exactly.
Dude, David, so
love
good
it.
to talk to you, man.
Good talking to you, man.
Appreciate it, dude.
All right, take it easy. Good luck with the show.